Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is Memory here. You guys already know what time it is. Better late than never. But yes, we are here to check out the upcoming fall anime season of 2021. You guys should know the drill by now. In this video, I'm going to be going over which shows I plan to watch, which shows I don't plan to watch, and which shows, because there's going to be the shows that I'm kind of undecided on for right now. We are on LiveChart. I will have it linked down below in the description. And also in this video, I'll be able to tell you guys some shows I plan to react to. Now, there's going to be ones where I may say maybe, or I may do a first impressions on it. That doesn't mean I'm going to react to the show in full. And really, for some shows, I'm not going to say every show is not a guarantee that I react to it all the way through. But there's going to be some shows that I may say, okay, I'm reacting to, and then maybe I don't like making content over it. Maybe I do a couple episodes, and then I would prefer to watch it on my own, and then I don't do reactions anymore. That's just how it goes, right? But I may do some first impressions reactions to see if I want to continue with some certain series. But it's not always guaranteed. Now, there are some shows that it's like guaranteed, right, that I'm sticking with it the whole way through. And I mean, even sitting right here looking at this, like, these are two examples right here before, I know even before we get into the list, but these are just examples of shows that I just know I'm going to be in it for the long haul, essentially. So keep that in mind as well. And these videos tend to be long, so we should probably just get right into it. So just like I was saying, this show is a definite yes, and one that I know I'm just going to be reacting to probably all the way through, for the long haul, for the entirety of the series when you really think about it. And the series, or the staff, excuse me, behind it, the producers behind it are dedicated to this series for the long haul, it seems, which is a great thing. I'm a big fan of Mushoku Tensei. I was super impressed by what we've had in the series so far, and I'm really excited for more. Really, when you think about it, we're just getting started. So that's kind of crazy to me. But now that we have like our trio, it seems like that's where they're going with it, right? We have like our trio sort of established. It seems like there's gonna be more Roxy in this second core as well, which I'm really excited about. And we have some other characters as well that seem like are gonna get a lot of shine. So I'm excited, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well, for more Mushoku Tensei. So that's a definite yes, and one I know I'll be reacting to. Next up, we have Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Entertainment District Arc. So I'm assuming they have the Mugen Train arc in here somewhere in the list. I will be watching this because this is like the sequel, right? This is the next story part that we have with Demon Slayer, because they did announce, which I think as of me recording this was a couple days ago, they did announce that they are going to be re-airing or showing Mugen Train again, essentially, like on TV, like in episodes. I think they actually said there's going to be a new original episode, so I may react to that. I don't think I'm going to react to Mugen Train like as a whole again, because I've already saw the movie. I may talk about it in a video or like on Twitter or something, but I don't think I'm going to react to, besides the new original episode, I'm probably not going to react to Demon Slayer Season 2 until the Entertainment District arc, which is coming December 5th, 2021, with an hour special. So we got a double length first episode for the Entertainment District arc, which I'm really excited for. Demon Slayer, for me personally, like, it's not a masterpiece, right? And even this goes for Mugen Train. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it is some of the most enjoyable shit that you'll watch, right? Like, it's a highly enjoyable series that the entertainment value is there, in my opinion, at least. So I am always excited for more Demon Slayer because it is a blast. And I can't wait to see what we'll have with this, because a lot of manga readers say that it's between like this arc right here and Mugen Train, which we just had in the movie. It's between those two arcs for like the fan favorite arc in the series. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's also been confirmed for 2 cores as well. So yeah, December 5th though, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit for that. Next up, we have Komi Can't Communicate, which is one that I already know I'm going to be watching. I probably will do, I'm not going to say probably, I am going to do a first impressions reaction for it. And I see myself probably continuing with the series, all the way through in terms of reactions. I'm a big fan of the staff that they have here on the series. And like I said, I've heard that the manga is really, really good. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this for a long time, because I think it has, doesn't it have like hundreds of chapters out? It may be over like 200, closer to 300. It may be over, maybe not. I'm pretty sure it's in the 200s. But yeah, there's a lot of content out for Komi, and the anime looks pretty good. I must say, I'm really excited for it, and I'm interested to see kind of what it's all about and why people say the manga is really, really good. So hopefully it gets a good adaptation, and it looks like that's going to be the case. I'm actually a pretty big fan of OLM and the staff that they have here on the project. Here's the thing though, the Netflix thing, which this could be a whole other video. It really could, because it's coming out in Japan October 7th on Netflix. But then outside of Japan, it's coming October 21st. So 2 weeks later. So it's like Netflix is trying to get on that weekly wave, but they're really not there yet. I guess I have to applaud it that they're trying to get to that point, because there's going to be a ton of people, right? There's going to be a ton of people watching the October 7th, release from Japan, whether it's through fan subs or even sometimes I've saw like there's been shows on Netflix Japan that have English subtitles still. So who knows what's going to happen with that, right? So yeah, I'm going to be watching it though, and I will be reacting to this one, at least initially. I like I said, I see myself probably going through with this one all the way. But these kinds of series, I don't know. I feel like depending on how they do it, these kinds of series can be sort of hit or miss for me. So we'll see. Next up, we have The Great Jahi Will Not Be Defeated. This one is carrying over. I am still watching that. Next up, we have The World's Finest Assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. Silverlink, of course. And it's another Silverlink light novel adaptation. They're bread and butter, right? There's another studio on here, though. Studio Palette. When a great assassin is reborn in another world, he finds himself the heir to a long line of killers from the shadows. With both his modern-day knowledge and experience in the special magic and techniques of this new world, he could very well become the most unstoppable assassin in history. So, I don't know. I don't really get much from... It doesn't sound like anything too crazy. You know what I'm saying from the synopsis? I usually do end up checking out these Silverlink light novel adaptations because there's been some of them that sounded pretty generic or like meh or whatever, and then I watched them and I actually really enjoy them. And then there's been ones that it's like, okay, it was what I expected. Like, it's pretty generic. There's really nothing too crazy about it. So I feel like the Silverlink light novel adaptations are kind of hit or miss for me. I'm actually kind of interested. Like, this is like, because this is sort of about popularity. This is kind of up here, right? Like, it's sort of towards the top. So maybe there's a decent backing, decent following behind this series. Now I know it's LiveChart, so it may be different in the grand scheme, but I'll say yes. I'm gonna at least try it out, give it a couple episodes initially. I don't know if I'll be sticking with it all the way through. Hopefully I do. Hopefully, obviously I enjoyed the series, but I usually, like I said, like to give these Silverlink light novel adaptations a shot. So I'll say yes to that one for now. 86 Part 2, man, the greatness. We got the second core of 86 and the second core of Mushoku Tensei coming in the same season, man. That you just love to see that, right? And I don't think I really have to say much with 86. If y'all watch 86, you most likely know the greatness that this series is. Just like I said with Mushoku Tensei, I think I said it with Mushoku Tensei, but if I didn't, Mushoku Tensei just one of my favorite favorite series in recent memory with recent seasons. 86 is the same way, and where I don't know, like I'm so curious where the series is going to go from here, especially with how it left off, so yeah, 86, we should be in store for more greatness. This is another one where you just have to give the people behind it a lot of credit, because it's like with Mushoku Tensei, they're so dedicated to the adaptation, and they're in it for the long haul, it seems like, as well, and just the anime original stuff they've added in 86 that has even made the series better from what a lot of light novel readers have said. It's crazy, man, and you just love to see it. So yeah, really big fan of 86 and really excited for more of that. I will be reacting to 86 as well, so there's that. Eden Zero, I am still watching Eden Zero. How many episodes? Isn't it 25? I thought it was 2 cores. Is it longer? Oh yeah, it is 2 cores. Okay, so yeah, the last episode comes out like in a couple days. So yeah, I think I'm an episode or 2 behind on that. So I'll have to get to that. Next up, we have Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. I actually really like this visual. It's kind of interesting too. Adventure fantasy slice of life light novel adaptation from Wolfsbane and Studio Flad. You aren't really one of us. Unable to join the fighting on the front, the hero Red is cut and cast out of his adventuring party by the leadership. Man, it was rough going for a while there. Red has no idea how much of a panic his sudden absence has caused, which they cast him out, right? Kicked him out. He has been excitedly working towards the opening of his own little herb shop not far away. So he gets kicked out and goes and does that. Hey, why not, right? Do you think I could work here too? Lodging provided, of course. Suddenly a former companion and princess is in his home. So did she get like casted out too or something like that? Or she left because he got casted out and kind of wanted to be with him? Maybe that's what's going on. A fun little herb business, a flirty home life with a tomboy princess. This unsatisfied hero's wonderful new life is about to begin. This actually sounds kind of wholesome, I would say. Now, I could see this being one where it's like kind of generic, so it doesn't really have, you know, a whole lot going for it. I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? I'm not really too big on Wolf's Bane in the other studio on here. Is, you know, from what I remember, I don't even remember the studio flat. I don't even think, maybe I've heard of it. I'm not really sure, but I've definitely heard of Wolf's Bane, and I'm pretty sure from what I've watched from them, nothing like too crazy, right? I don't know. The premise sounds kind of wholesome. There may be some kind of drama mixed in here if she is like a princess that is kind of left, right? So could have a little bit of drama sort of mixed in here as well. But it seems kind of, like I said, I think the word to really describe this is kind of wholesome. So I'm going to say maybe. I'll say maybe for this one. Now, I probably will end up checking out the first episode to see how I feel about it. But as a whole, I'm going to say maybe. Oh, man. Next up, we got World's End Harem, which, I mean, how many versions is it gonna have? I know some of y'all were saying it's gonna have like 2 or 3 versions. I know it's airing on ATX, the station in Japan, so it is gonna have it uncensored. I don't know how many versions it's gonna have, because we've saw that in the past where there's just like multiple versions. Because I've heard this series is erotic as hell. So I've never even read up on it really, though. I've just really heard it's erotic, you know. The time is near future Tokyo, Japan in 2040. Reito, a young man suffering from an intractable disease, vows to reunite with his childhood friend Erisa and decides to cold sleep to cure her illness. When he wakes up 5 years later, the world was undergoing a major transformation. The MK, not NK, not me, the male killer virus kills 99.9% of men on the planet. Wow. Okay. The ground was a super harem with 5 million women for every 5 men. Oh my God. What? Only 5 men, or the numbers, Mason, are resistant to the MK virus. One of them, Reito, is required to mate for the survival of the remaining women and humankind. Harem life waiting for the world after the pandemic. At the same time, Reito is involved in a global conspiracy over the numbers. Can he overcome the temptation and save the world? Shit, I'm here for it, bro. I don't think I'm gonna be reacting to it, because if y'all are gonna watch the blinding lights, I mean, that's on y'all. If you're gonna be watching that, I'm gonna be watching the uncensored. I don't think I'll be able to put that out on YouTube, but this just sounds so out there. It sounds like awesome in a way, but it sounds like terrible, and it just sounds like it's all over the place. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Screw it, right? Next up, we have Fena the Pirate Princess, which I am watching. We're like 8 episodes in, as you see. I think I'm an episode or 2 behind. I just got back from vacation, so I'm behind on a lot of stuff, by the way. But this series has been a blast so far, man. It's been airing every Saturday night, I think, on Adult Swim. It's on Crunchyroll. If you guys have not checked out this series, I highly recommend. It's production IG, Kazuto Nakazawa as well, who is one of the more prominent creators in Japan, I would say. He was pretty much the main man behind Samurai Champloo, director of Be the Beginning. I haven't watched season 2 of Be the Beginning yet, but I was a big fan of season 1. I haven't heard too good things about season 2, but Kazuto Nakazawa is one of my favorite creators, I would definitely say, from Japan, and he is, a big part of this series, Fena the Pirate Princess. So I definitely say check it out. It has a really fun cast, and it kind of gives me, I would say it kind of gives me like Yona of the Dawn-ish type of vibes, in a way. So, yeah. Next up, we have The Faraway Paladin, light novel adaptation from Children's Playground Entertainment adventure fantasy. In the ruined city of the dead, far from human civilization, lives a single human child named Will. He is raised by 3 undead: Blood, the heroic skeleton warrior; Mary, the ladylike mummy priestess; and Gus, the crotchety ghost wizard. I think that's probably the 3 of them at the top of the visual, right? The 3 of them teach the boy what they know and pour their love into him. One day, the boy begins to wonder, who am I? Will uncovers the mysteries of the undead hidden in this faraway land. He learns of the love and mercy of good gods, as well as the paranoia and madness of evil gods. There's always good and evil. And once he learns it all, the boy embarks on the path to becoming a paladin. So this seems like one where, I don't know, because I feel like there's been shows like this, that will have the character start off as a kid and you kind of follow them, but usually they'll like speed run it. I feel like Mushoku Tensei did a really, really good job at doing what, how they sort of handled it with Rudy. You know, so this seems like something where you follow him from when he's very young till, you know, when he grows up and continues to learn more about the world and like the mysteries and just whatever's going on in the world. So it sounds kind of interesting. I'm a little concerned maybe with like the studio, and I haven't actually looked too much into the staff, so I'll have to do that. But like I follow a lot of people on Twitter who are into like you know, they read a lot of light novels like Index. I've heard this series mentioned before, so I have saw people talking about this series and they've said it's pretty good, but they're kind of worried, like how I just said. I'm kind of worried about who is behind this, you know, the series and who's making it. So I'm gonna say maybe. I'm feeling a maybe on this one for now. Next up we have Platinum End, which 2-core series from the Death Note duo, right? The creators of Death Note, they're behind this series. Now, I'm just going to say this straight up. I'm not expecting this to be on Death Note level. I don't think it's going to be on Death Note level. I don't think anyone's really thinking that or saying that. But that is something to keep in mind, that this is from the duo that created Death Note. I will give you the hope to live. Kakahashi Mirai lost his parents in an accident and lived in misery with the relatives who took him in. Having lost hope in everything, he jumped off of the roof of a building on the day of his middle school graduation. But then he met an angel. I was gonna say, there's like some. I see the wings like in the visual and all of that. The visual actually looks kind of cool. I will say, I'm gonna give this a shot. And I mean, not much to really, I guess, get, or at least I don't really get from the synopsis, but just because it's from the Death Note duo is really what's leading me to check out this series. Now, hopefully it gets a good adaptation, because there probably are fans of the series, you know, and I know people are looking forward to this. So I hope you guys get the you know, the adaptation that y'all deserve if you've been fans with the series for a long time. But Signal MD, I haven't looked too much into the staff. Really what's pushing me to, like I said, to check this series out is the creators behind it, the original creators. All right, next up we have the Aquatope on White Sand. I am still watching this. Next up we have Mairuzukage from Passion, a comedy horror supernatural. A normal girl. I don't think I've ever, I know it's based off a manga, but I've never heard about this series at all. Like, I've never heard anything. Normal girl was living a normal life until she wasn't. One day she could see everything. What's a girl to do when hideous monsters appear? I see one right there in the back. What the hell? What's a girl to do when hideous monsters appear, no matter which way she turns? And on top of that, nobody else can see them. Obviously, there's only one thing that makes sense. Ignore them. Kind of hard to put theory into practice, though, when the ghosts know she's watching. Okay. Yeah, for me, horror anime are really hit or miss. Now, there's a lot of horror anime I still haven't watched, but from the horror anime I've watched, like, you know, they're pretty hit or miss. Some of them are like edgy, cringe. You know, there's been a few that I've watched that are like that. I'm not really sure how this is going to be. And just for like, I don't know, just from my experience, I guess, with watching horror anime and them being like hit or miss, I'm going to say maybe on this one. But maybe if some of y'all have read the manga, y'all can give me some more insight, obviously without spoiling, but kind of what this, what it maybe is attractive to this series to, you know, anime viewers, or what could be. Next up, we have Tact Op Destiny. I think that's how you say it. The Mappa and Madhouse collaboration. This was announced. I remember when this was announced, right? The Mappa event where they had the Chainsaw Man stuff, right? And when they first revealed this, I was like, okay, this looks amazing, right? I was gonna say next up, like, we're not ready to move on yet. Oh my gosh. So yeah, action fantasy music series. I think it's actually like classical music, if I remember correctly, from what I've heard. The world completely changed when it was struck by a black meteorite, which produces grotesque monsters called D2 that have overrun the land and its people. D2 very quickly banned all music, which was the one thing able to overcome them. But there are people who resist the D2. They are young women who hold the power of music, the music cart, with the guidance of a conductor. These young women use the greatest music scores in human history to defeat the monsters. I'm pretty sure it's just classical music. That maybe there could be other music. I'm not really sure, but that's what I've heard. The anime takes place in America. That's kind of cool. In the year 2047, which has fallen to ruin thanks to the D2. Tact, a conductor, is partnered with a music cart named Destiny. Tact yearns for music to be returned to the world, and Destiny wishes to destroy the D2. Their aim is to travel to New York. This kind of sounds like Listeners a little bit, which was also from Mappa. That's why I really was thinking about it. But it's sort of this setup a part of the setup kind of reminds me of what we had with listeners, and listeners turned out to be a kind of a big disappointment to me. But I had like those Eureka 7 vibes with listeners a little bit, so that was something that was there. I don't know if we're gonna have that here with this series. It doesn't really seem like it, But this series, if you guys have saw any of the trailers, if you haven't, go watch them, because this series looks absolutely amazing. And this is something I'm definitely looking out for, and something I'm gonna most likely react to. I could see myself reacting to this all the way through, but I'm at least gonna react to the first episode, maybe the first couple. We'll see what happens. All right, next up we have, okay, so they do have it in here. Yes, the Mugen Train arc, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Mugen Train, TV version of Demon Slayer Mugen Train arc, with a brand new first episode featuring the day leading up to the events in the movie, plus 6 re-edited episodes featuring new scenes and music. Okay, so there's gonna be new scenes. I know I said I'm not gonna be reacting to it most likely. I'm still kind of sticking by that. I'll probably watch it on my own time, because yeah, there's gonna be some new scenes, but it may not be anything too crazy. I am excited to see what the new scenes are gonna be, and if there's any new music, of course, as well. But the episode I probably will be reacting to is that brand new first episode. That's gonna be the only thing I'll react to until the Entertainment District arc. Unless y'all would like to see me react to Mugen Train, but I'm just telling y'all right now, I've already saw it. I'm sure a lot of y'all have already saw the movie as well. So if you guys want me to do it, I will, but just know that the reaction is it's not going to be what y'all want. I would say, because I've already saw the movie, so I'm not really going in blind. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below. But right now, I'm saying that I'm not going to be reacting to the Mugen Train arc, like the TV version or whatever of it, besides that brand new first episode. So I'll say yes, I'm watching. I guess it'll be a nice refresher as well, because I'll rewatch it. I'll watch the TV version just to kind of refresh myself for the next part in the story. All right, next up we have Blue Period, which the first episode actually already came out, and I've already saw. Here's the thing, right? This is exactly what I was talking about earlier with Komi-san, right? Streams weekly on Netflix beginning September 25th, which was a couple days ago. I've already saw the first episode come out with English subtitles. And you know how many people have probably already watched this first episode of Blue Period? It's like, it comes out outside of Japan October 9th. It's like Netflix is trying to get on the weekly wave, but they're not there yet. So I still need to watch the first episode of Blue Period, actually. I am thinking about doing a first impressions reaction for that, but we'll see. I've heard good things about this series. I already know I'm going to be watching this one. Also, just like Komi-san earlier as well, the manga for this I've heard is really good. 7 arcs though. 7 arcs behind it. I haven't really looked too much into the staff, because you can't really just like, yeah, we can look at studios and be like, but you really like what really matters is the staff, a lot of the time, right? So I try not to do that as much, just like kind of attach the studio to a show being good or bad. It's more so about the staff. The studious Yatura leaves a dry life of study and good manners behind for a new passion, painting. But untethering yourself from all your past expectations is dangerous as well as thrilling. Seinen series as well. And I feel like this is gonna, or at least I hope, it seems like it's gonna be something sort of relatable, although it has to do with painting. I mean, how many of us have probably done something like this, right? Where maybe we're into something before, and then we want to take go a different direction, take that next big step. It is something that it's a big risk, but it's also like something that could be very exciting and dangerous, as they put it. So I think this series may be something that's pretty relatable, and something that we can kind of connect to, or at least for me, someone like me, where I'm at in my life, can kind of latch onto. So I'm gonna say yeah for that. I was gonna say yeah regardless, just because I've heard the manga's good, but I don't know. We'll see how the adaptation is. Next up, we have My Senpai is Annoying, rom-com, slice of life, Doga Kobo. This is like Doga Kobo's bread and butter, these types of series, Igarashi is a hardworking young office lady. Takeda, the senpai above her at work, annoys her constantly, and yet she finds herself growing closer to him. Every day is filled with comic mishaps and romantic moments as Igarashi tries to balance work, life, and love. So yeah, I'll be watching this. This is Doga Kobo's, bread and butter, and this is also one, I think I actually have the first volume of this. I'm pretty sure I do, but I have not read it yet. But this is one as well. I've heard the manga is really enjoyable, and Doga Kobo is gonna give it the adaptation it deserves. They're pretty good with the stuff. Although I saw a lot, it's a common thing with Doga Kobo. I don't know if it's like the scheduling or what, but you see a lot of Doga Kobo shows that have just so many like animation directors on it. Sometimes I saw crazy numbers, so we'll see what happens with that. But I'm gonna be checking that out. Next up, we have Suki to Laika to Nosferatu, sci-fi space vampire. It's an interesting mix from Arvo Animation, set in based on a light novel, set in a fictional world 10 years after a long war divided the world into two superpowers, the Union of Zernitra Republics in the east and the United Kingdom of Arnak in the west. Both of these superpowers now test their ambitions against each other in a space race. It sounds awfully similar to our history in a way, you know? In 1960, the Union's premier, Gurgave, announces Project Mektat, or Dream, a prestigious plan to launch manned missions into the final frontier. To this end, the Union establishes the isolated city of Laika 44, where cosmonaut candidates compete for planned manned missions to space, and scientists develop the technology to make it happen, all in an environment of secrecy. The story centers on Lev Leps. I kind of like that name, actually. A backup astronaut candidate and his new companion, the vampire Irina. Ruminescu? I'm not really sure. As a part of a daring new operation, Nosferatu, Project Mektak will use Irina as a test subject for various conditions expected in space. Okay, so that's actually very interesting. I was wondering when I saw that vampire tag, I was like, how are they going to utilize that? Or how are they going to mix that in or use that? So that's how they're kind of going with it. She's literally like a test dummy, I guess. And ultimately as a part of a manned mission. Okay, so she becomes a part of the missions and whatnot, apparently. With Lev overseeing Irina's training as a cosmonaut, for reasons of their own, both dream of going to space. Okay, so I love my space series, and we don't really get them a lot, so I'm going to be trying this out. The premise actually sounds right up my alley, I have to say, honestly. Now, the vampire thing, I'm going to be curious how they mix that in or what's going to be going on with that. But even from the vampire stuff, how they're going to implement that character sounds pretty intriguing to me. And then also what else we have going in this series. Like I said, it sounds something like that's up my alley, so I'm going to try it out. Next up, we have The Vampire Dies in No Time, another vampire series from Madhouse. Set in modern Japan, this is the story of a vampire hunter, Ronald, who enters the castle of Jaluk, the immortal father of all vampire kind. Jaluk, however, is actually the weakest vampire of them all, and he constantly dies and turns to ash. The missing children had already killed him several times and destroyed his castle too, so he goes to live with Ronald in his office in Shin Yokohama. Man, how things quickly change, right? Jaluk and Ronald work together to solve vampire-related incidents all over Japan, but Jaluk always dies at the worst moments. This actually sounds pretty funny, I have to say, and it's Madhouse, so I'm going to try this out. This actually sounds like something that may be, really enjoyable. Next up, we have Ranking of Kings from Wit Studio, 2 cores. I think that was announced pretty recently, but anything Wit Studio is going to grab my attention. Anything Wit Studio, I'm going to check out, so I'm ready to say yes. I have been trying to keep up with this series as much as I can, not the source material, but like the information and things that come out of it. And it looks like a coming of age where you essentially follow this character. I mean, you even see him in the visual here, like he's really young, like the main character. But I think what we're going to see is him grow up from that point to, when he's a lot older, which sounds a lot similar to a series we've had from Wit Studio recently that also has a manga, Vinland Saga. Yeah. So, his name is Boji, I think, is a deaf prince who lacks power and sword-wielding ability. He's also the heir to the throne and has high hopes for his future. After finding a friend in the shadow, Kage, which I think Kage just means shadow in Japan, doesn't it? Boji sets off on his grand adventure to become the greatest king the world has ever seen. So yeah, sounds like a coming-of-age sort of thing. I'm interested how they're going to implement this, shadow character, Kage. That's going to be something very interesting to follow. But it's Wit Studio, and I trust Wit Studio. I have hope and faith in Wit Studio. And the series actually sounds kind of, something like I would enjoy. And it does remind me of something we've had recently, Vinland Saga. And I'm not saying this is going to be on the level of Vinland Saga. I'm not expecting it to be on the level of Vinland Saga. But who knows, right? But it's more Wit Studio, so I'm here for it. Next up, we have Taisho Otome Fairy Tale from Synergy SP based off of manga. The setting is in the Taisho era. Tamahiko, a young man who disappointed his parents after losing the use of his right hand in an accident, is forced to move out of his home under the guise of rehabilitation. Once again, another case of terrible parents in anime. Resentful of everything in life, he becomes withdrawn and pessimistic when one day a woman named Yuzuki knocks on his door. She claims she has been sent there by his father to be his bride. The beginning of a Taisho love story in Japan 100 years ago. So wait, his parents pretty much kick him out or cast him out, and then one of the parents sends him like, here's your wife. What? Okay, but this sounds actually kind of wholesome because I'm already picturing, because if his parents kick him out, but they're saying it's for rehabilitation, this girl comes into his life, and this man's probably like down in the dumps. He's probably like so, just down on himself in general. She comes into his life and just brings that light, like I already kind of see it now. So it sounds kind of wholesome. I'm going to say I'll check it out. I'm going to try it. I don't know. This is going to be a 3-episode test one, I'll say. But it does sound kind of wholesome. I can already kind of picture it. Next up, we have Sakugan from Satellite, a mecha and sci-fi. So you kind of have my attention right there. I think actually one of my friends, he was saying that this show is right up my alley because he got a look at the first episode, like an early look at it, and he said it is right up my alley. So I trust him. I trust him for sure, but I actually haven't read too much on this series. It's based off a novel. In the distant future, humankind lives shoulder to shoulder in a cramped colony divided by bedrock. Outside the colony extends a dangerous, undeveloped area known as the Labyrinth. Those who risk their lives to explore the labyrinth and mark undeveloped areas are known as markers. Memempu is a young girl who wants to become a marker. And what are these names? Gagumber is a man who quit being a marker. This ragtag father and daughter team are about to take on the labyrinth. If there is no path, then dig one. Girl Lagan reference there, maybe. Yeah, potentially. So yeah, this definitely does sound right on my alley, I must say. So yeah, I'm gonna be checking this out. I don't know if I'm gonna. I just feel like if I did do reaction to it, it's like a lot of people I feel like don't be checking these sorts of series out. It also reminds me of that series we had recently that was from. What studio was it from? I think it was from director Yuzuru Tachikawa, the director of Mob Psycho, and it was like the original one. I had to look it up because it was really bothering me, and I was gonna sit here and get like pissed at myself, but it was Decadence. Like this kind of gives me vibes of that as well, but it also gives me vibes of a lot of other series I've watched, and like I said, this is something that sounds like it's right up my alley, so I'm gonna be watching it. Next up, we have Deep Insanity, The Lost Child from Silverlink. Silverlink, it's not a light novel adaptation. Are you sure? Are we sure this isn't a light novel adaptation? Apparently it's not. Madness and unawakening sleep, Randolph syndrome. This new illness is slowly but steadily approaching humanity, caused by the huge underground world Asylum that appears in Antarctica. There are strange creatures different from the Earth and unknown resources. People bet their lives in the depths of the mysterious new world to get huge wealth, organizational plots, or their own ambitions. And here alone, a young man with a wish in his heart is trying to challenge the front line of Asylum. Sounds kind of interesting. I don't know. Is it going to be too ambitious or too big for its own good? I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe. I'm gonna say maybe on this one. I don't even. Do we have any other information or like a trailer or anything on this series? I haven't heard anything about this. This is actually the first time. All right. Next up, we have the Heike story, which I actually have already started because it's already had 2 episodes. I haven't watched the newest episode yet, which is episode 2. But from what I watched of the first episode, very impressed. And Naoko Yamada directing this series. And it's crazy, right? That Naoko Yamada apparently has left Kyoto Animation. I don't know if she's going to just be at Science Saru now or she's going to be bouncing around kind of. But yeah, this is her first project, her first thing she's working on, since leaving Kyoto Animation, which was not that long ago. It was actually very recent. But I would definitely say check out this series. I think this is a series that a lot of people are going to be sleeping on. So don't sleep on this series. It had a very strong first episode, and I see this series potentially being something that, I could really, really like, because the first episode sort of hooked me, I must say. So Yeah, next up we have Muv Love Alternative, which I think this has already had an anime, right? But it wasn't that good, from what I've heard from people who have done the visual novel. We got like a trio here: Flagship Line, Yumita Company, and Grafnica. Story of the bonds between those who fight in a world pushed to its limits on one of the countless parallel worlds that exist throughout space-time. Humanity has fought a decades-long war against the Beta, hostile extraterrestrial invaders using humanoid fighting machines called tactical surface fighters. This is a story of how humanity lives and dies while on the brink of extinction. Okay, so this sounds something like that's up my alley. I don't know. Is this actually like a reboot, or is this like starting from the beginning of the series? I've heard good things about the visual novel, but it's like never had anything like a good adaptation or anything like that come out of it. So hopefully this is good for y'all that have like done the visual novel. But if this is like starting from the beginning of the story, I haven't heard if it is or not. I would assume it is, but if it's not, let me know, because I don't think this would be a good place to start if that's not the case. But if it's starting from the beginning, then I want to check this out, see sort of, you know, what it has going for, because it sounds like something I would like. And I mean, man, we're seeing a lot of like mech sci-fi space series in here, man. You know, like not a lot, but a few of them, more than I was expecting, I guess you would say. So I actually really like to see that. So, all right, next up we have Shikizakura, an action drama sci-fi original from Sublimation. Kakeru Miwa is an otherwise ordinary high school student, but a strange twist puts him on the front line in a supernatural battle against the menacing Oni. With the help of a fantastically powerful battlesuit known as the Yoroi, Kakeru joins an elite team that fights the monstrous Oni and defends humanity from otherworldly threats. The team is assigned to protect Oka Myoijin, a shrine maiden who is prophesied to save the world, but she must perform a sacred ritual with Shikizakura, the horizon that connects the spiritual and physical world that lies somewhere amid the blooming cherry blossoms and the colorful autumn leaves. But in this world, the journey to destiny is hard-fought, winding, and sometimes deadly. Okay. I think Sublimation, don't they do all 3D CGI? I'm pretty sure. So this is probably going to be a full 3D series. It sounds kind like parts of it sound kind of like, it's just, you know, stuff we've had before, kind of generic. But then there's like parts of it that actually sound kind of cool to me. I don't know. I don't know about this one. Maybe it's just best to say maybe. maybe it's just because I don't know if I'll check it out or not. Maybe I'll give episode 1 a shot and see how I'm feeling. But I know most of y'all probably aren't going to check this out. But I don't know. Some parts of this kind of catches my attention, I'll say. More Yasuhime. I have not watched any of this. Is that the first no that we've had? I think that is the first no. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Am I just too like generous or like too willing to check out series that maybe like some of y'all are probably like, man, that doesn't sound interesting as hell at all. What are you talking about, man? Like, I ain't checking that out. But me, it's like, maybe I'll say, I just can't say no. I don't know. Next up we have, or maybe it's just the fact, you know, saying that this season seems a lot more promising than the season we just had. That's just me though. And we're not even like through yet, all the way through. Next up we have Tesla Note, an action shonen thriller based off a manga from Gambit. Mission T, I actually like this visual too. Mission T is a secret operation to save the world from destruction. Trained as a ninja from a young age, Botan Nagoro, raised to become the ultimate spy, teams up with another excellent spy, Kuruma. So we got like a spy series here. Their aim is to recover the legacy of the genius inventor Nikola Tesla. Okay, so that's where the title of the series comes from. The Shards of Tesla. Can the two outwit the agents of other countries who are also pursuing these fragments? A super original spy thriller begins. Okay, sounds actually kind of fun. I feel like these spy series are sort of hit or miss for me. This is another one I think I'm gonna say maybe on it. Like parts of it sound cool, but I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe for this one. I haven't heard actually really anything about the manga for it. Next up we have a mime warrior at the borderline from Sunrise Beyond, action mecha sci-fi. I'm loving this visual, and it's not a Gundam series. I know it's not from Sunrise, it's from Sunrise Beyond, so this is like a new sort of original thing that they have going on here. In the year 2061 AD, Japan has lost its sovereignty. The Japanese people spend their days as oppressed citizens after being divided and ruled by the 4 major trade factions. The country became the forefront of the world following the deployment of a mime, a humanoid special mobile weapon. But they're not Gundams. They kind of look like Gundams, but apparently they're not Gundams by each economic bloc. One day, Amal Shiba, a boy who loves machines, meets Guy, an autonomous thinking AI. The encounter leads Amal to cast himself into the battle to reclaim Japan, piloting the Amime Kenbu that he built himself. So it's like a samurai mech or something, which we saw that before. So let's not act like this is just like a new thing. We've definitely saw this before. But this is something new that is not a Gundam from Sunrise. Now, it's Sunrise Beyond, but I'm just going to say Sunrise. I'm going to check this out. It seems like it may be a bit more on the mature-ish side of things. Like, it's not going to be like some like Gundam Build Fighters type stuff, which actually Gundam Build Fighters, it did, well, I should say Divers, because I haven't watched Fighters yet, but Build Divers actually got like a little more mature, like it got more serious. So this seems like it's gonna be a little bit more serious in tone. Maybe not like crazy, because it's still got to kind of appeal to the kids, you know, who are gonna probably go out and buy some of these kits or these, you know, or whatever. But the design here for the mech that they have looks kind of cool to me, and I cannot wait to see the other ones that we'll have. So anything new, like a new mecha series, like something original, and that's not Gundam from Sunrise, I'm always down to check out. So, because you don't see that really happen at all. So, all right, next up we have Visual Prison, a music supernatural vampire series from A1 Pictures. And Yuki, a boy who wrestles the deep-seated loneliness, can't fit in. With nobody to call family, he leaves his hometown, longing to see an artist he admires perform. He heads to Harajuku, where he encounters a live battle between Visual K units Eclipse and Los Eden. Overwhelmed by the energetic performance, he is suddenly struck by an intense pain. So is this like seems like a idol series, music like idol series, but there's vampires in it as well. It doesn't seem something really for me, but I don't know, maybe y'all will be checking it out. I'm not really, it is an original too, so hey, who knows, maybe I hear good things about it, I end up checking it out, but I'm gonna say no for now. Next up we have 180 Byo de Kimi no Mimi wo Shiawase ni Dekuruka. I wish I could say that fast, but I'm sorry. From Indivision and Akachi Epilica anime, which lets viewers experience various forms of Oh, it's a ASMR anime. It's like a short. In the story, the heroine challenges her classmates to share in her hobby of recording ASMR works. That's kind of cool. Like, I mean, I've watched ASMR videos before, but I'm not like super crazy about it. I don't know. Maybe I'll see just what it's about. Like, if it's gonna be like 2 or 3 minute episodes, like why not? So we'll see, I guess. Yuki Yuna, I haven't watched any Yuki Yuna. Blade Runner Black Lotus. This is finally coming out, or no, not. I shouldn't say that, because we had something with like Blade Runner before, right? That was like a short. From Sola Digital Arts, Los Angeles 2032, a young woman wakes up with no memories and possessing deadly skills. The only clues to her mystery are a locked data device and a tattoo of a black lotus. Putting together the pieces, she must hunt down the people responsible for her brutal and bloody past to find the truth of her lost identity. Now, is this something that's totally new, something separate? Like, I could just go into it, because I know there was like a Blade Runner thing before, and I know there's, you know, live action, right? Like live action Blade Runner, which I am not familiar with at all. So I may check this out. I don't really know. It's from Sola Digital Arts. Didn't they do like the Ghost in the Shell stuff? Did they, or maybe they did the Ultraman. They did something. They did something that was on like Netflix. I know this is not Netflix, but Crunchyroll and Adult Swim original, which we're gonna be seeing a lot more of those. Fena the Pirate Princess, which we were talking about earlier, is the same thing, a Crunchyroll Adult Swim original. I feel like something like this could potentially be, you know, very appealing to the viewers on Adult Swim. I feel like this may actually get pretty good viewer numbers on Adult Swim. But for me, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to watch this. So I guess I'll say maybe for now. If I could just go into it without having seen anything else, then I'll probably check it out. But If not, like, I'm not gonna get to it anytime soon. All right, next up we have Megaton Musashi. Dude, is this like a season? This is like kind of mind-blowing to me. We're seeing so many like mecha sci-fi series, just sci-fi series in general, man. I know it's kind of a broad thing, but like we got some mecha in here as well. I know they're pretty far down the list here, but I'll take what I can get. Yeah, I guess it makes sense why they're kind of, down the list, because a lot of people aren't really interested in them. From OLM, which I mentioned before, I'm a pretty big fan of OLM. In an ordinary town, there are people who live peaceful and fulfilling lives, but they don't know that it is a false peace. The untold truth: the Earth has already been destroyed, and 99.9% of the human race has been wiped out by a mysterious alien force from outer space called the Dractors. Eventually, a large hole was drilled in the Earth and terraformed into a suitable environment for the aliens to live. Humans have no choice but to hide in shelters to escape their watchful gaze. Waiting for the day of resurrection, which they do not know when it will come, the inhabitants of the shelter Ixia have had their memories of the day of destruction erased and live a normal life in ignorant bliss. However, some of them, the chosen ones, have become pilots, driving giant robots called Rogue and fighting against the aliens. Today, another new pilot is selected. Okay, sounds right up my alley. I mean, man, here's what I'm going to say. If just one or two of these, like Megaton Musashi, this one right here, a mime, maybe Shikizakura, Muv Love, Sakugan, if like one or two of these end up being ones that I enjoy, I'm going to be happy. I'm not expecting me to enjoy every single one of them. Yeah, that would be awesome, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. If I come out of watch some of these mech sci-fi series, like if I come out of it enjoying like one or two of them, I'm going to be happy. Honestly. And I mean, speaking of, we got another one, Rumble Garandal. What is happening? Is this like the revival of mech sci-fi, like with seasonal anime or something, or what? From Lurch, the story begins in 2019, just before the change in historical eras for Japan. A rift to another dimension suddenly opens in the skies above, revealing a turnabout alternate world called Shinkoku Nippon. This parallel version of Japan maintained its militarism and remains stuck in the Showa era. Shinkoku Nippon invades our Japan with its Genmu gas weapons, on which our own modern weapons have no effect, and giant humanoid Garen weapons. The invaders immediately take over our government and all but conquer Japan. As a result, our Japan never ushers in the Reiwa era. A decade later, our Japan has been revamped as Genkoku Nippon, a puppet state of Shinkoku Nippon. Under harsh censorship, the once thriving manga, anime idol, and similar subcultures have completely died off, or so it seemed. This sounds, I don't know if it's just me, but this sounds like it's all over the place, does it not? Like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't know. That was just, I had a hard time reading it. Maybe it was just me. I'm not really sure, but see, I want to try it out because it's a mech sci-fi, but that just sounded very convoluted to me. I'll say maybe for this one, but I'm kind of leaning towards no. Next up, we have The Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window from Zero G, drama mystery shonen supernatural. Bookstore employee Mikado always has a tendency to see creepy things. He had lived his life pretending he didn't see these things, but then he has a fateful encounter with the exorcist named Hiyakawa. Mikado ends up being forced to help out with exorcism duties and has to deal with the embarrassing fact that exorcising these things with Hiyakawa somehow feels really good. Like, okay, like pleasure, like that kind of like really good, or just like a general sense, a general thing, I don't know. While getting dragged into dealing with these cases every day, they run into a cold-blooded murder case, enjoy a new kind of horror mystery created by total opposites. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to really say about this one. I haven't heard anything about the manga. I don't know if any of y'all have. I don't think this is like a sequel to anything. I'm gonna say no for now. Shonen Ai is not really like my thing. It's not something that I usually watch. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I hear some good things about it or whatever from y'all, and I end up checking it out. But I'm gonna say no for now. Next up, we have Deji Meets Girl from Liden Films. I actually really like this visual, man. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds, though. The episodes, each of them. So it's like a short slice of life. The story begins one summer with Higa Mayase, a listless first-year high school girl who works part-time at the front desk of her family's hotel in Okinawa, meets Suzuki Ichiro. Ichiro Suzuki? Oh, okay. A mysterious youth who came alone from Tokyo as a hotel guest. Since Suzuki's arrival, deji things have been happening around Maise, like fish swimming around the room or a giant banyan tree smashing through the hotel ceiling. Deji is an Okinawan word that means totally or very. Okay, I'll watch this. I mean, it's a short. It's a minute and 30 seconds long, so why not? Selection project. I say no for this. Kyo and Kyoto from the Maiko house. Oh, this is still ongoing. Isn't this like monthly or something like that? I haven't been watching this though. Let's Make a Mug. I haven't watched the first season. More Lupin. If you guys are Lupin fans, I bet you're excited about this. I have not watched any Lupin, so I am not gonna be able to watch this. I don't think. I think I've heard there's some Lupin parts that you can kind of just hop into or like watch, but I would rather start from the beginning. Honestly, like whenever I do get into Lupin, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Next up, we have something I don't think I'm gonna watch. Next up, we have Digimon Ghost Game. Not gonna be watching that. Suki Pro, no. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, no. Card Fight Vanguard, no. This one, no. More Pretty Cure, no. Shinchan, still going, man. Muta King, the Dancing Hero from Tatsunoko Production, Tezuka Productions. Action comedy sci-fi set in a city modeled after San Francisco in the 1980s. The protagonist has transformed into the hero Mute King and is fighting against evil aliens for some reason. Such a cheerful hero will return. Sci-fi hero love comedy Mute King, the dancing hero, singing and dancing with pop music. Okay, I'll say maybe for that one. Sounds maybe like something that could be, people will sleep on. I don't think it's gonna be anything too crazy, to be honest. But I mean, who knows? Next up, we have Doraemon. Haven't watched any Doraemon. Bang Dream, no. Hairpin Double, no. The rest of these are probably going to be no's. Anime based on the fit boxing exercise game series for the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, the rest of these are probably going to be no's. Yeah. Not really much to say about any of these. Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't even really have to keep scrolling down for those, honestly. So I think that's actually it for the TV series. We can go to movies real quick. Violet Evergarden movie. This is the Blu-ray DVD release. I will be watching this whenever I can. Sword Art. Y'all already know I'm going to be watching. The BD release for Princess Principal Chapter 1, the first movie. I think this has already came out like on Crunchyroll or something like that. So I just haven't got to it yet. But I am going to be watching that. Haven't watched any free yet. Summer Ghosts. Theatrical premiere. Flat Studio. Have you heard of Summer Ghosts? Tomoya, Aoi, and Rio are high school students who met through the internet. The urban legend of the Summer Ghost is that it is a ghost of a young woman who appears when fireworks are lit. Tomoya is unable to step out into the life he wants. Aoi is unable to find her place in the world. Rio's bright future is suddenly close to him. Each of them has their own reasons for meeting the Summer Ghost. On a summer night, when life and death intersect, where will each of their thoughts go to? Okay, if I'm able to watch this, I'll probably check it out. I think this is going to be like a short film. I'm pretty sure, but I've been trying to keep tabs on Flat Studio because I don't know if you guys have saw anything from Flat Studio and the creator behind it. Isn't the creator's name Loungejaw, I want to say? But I've been keeping up on the shorts and like the things that they've been putting out from Flat Studio. And I think this is maybe the first like big film that they're doing. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. But I'll probably check this out if I'm able to watch it anywhere. More Eureka 7 High Evolution, the final movie. I will be watching this, and I most likely, because the first two movies came in theaters, so I will be seeing this in theaters whenever I can. Sing a Bit of Harmony, drama music school sci-fi from JC's staff. When the beautiful and mysterious Xian transfers to Keibu High School, she quickly becomes popular for her open-hearted personality and exceptional athletic talent, but she turns out to be an AI in the testing phase. Xian's goal is to bring chronic loner Saotomi happiness, but her strategy is something no human would expect. She serenades Saotomi in the middle of the classroom. After finding out that Xian is an AI, Saotomi and her childhood friend, engineering geek Toma, steadily warm up to the new student. Along with the popular and attractive Got-chan, the strong-willed Aya and judo club member Thunder, they become more and more moved by Xian's singing voice and earnestness, even as her antics bewilder them. But what Xian does for Satomi's sake ends up involving all of them in some serious pandemonium. Okay, I'm gonna say maybe for that one. Detective Conan, haven't watched any Detective Conan. Princess Principal, whenever I'm able to watch this, I'll watch it. Child of Kamiari Month, Liden Films original. Oh, this comes out in theaters in 8 days, closer to 9 days in Japan. Japanese people believe that gods dwell in various things. There are gods of the water, wood, and even gods that keep us safe from the virus. Every October, thousands of gods leave their places of residence to gather in the Izumo region to have a conference. As such, October is also called Kamiari Month, only in the Izumo region, which means the months with gods, and Kanazuki in every other region, which means the month without gods. Wait. As such, October is also called Kamiari Month, only in the Izumo region, which means the month with gods, and Kanazuki in every other region, which means... Okay. I don't know what happened there. This is a story of a 12-year-old girl, Kana, born to be a descendant of the gods. Her family has a mission to deliver offerings from all over Japan to the gods, gathering in Izumo. Although Kana's mother was to complete the mission, her passing prompted Kana to finish the rest, hoping she could reunite with her dead friend or her dead mother in the God's land at the end of her journey. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I'm gonna say no for now. Macross Delta. I don't know. Is this new content? If this is new content from Macross Delta, I'm gonna be watching it because I actually really enjoyed Macross Delta. And I think they're doing something with Frontier in here as well, which I have not watched Frontier. But Walkure and Delta Flight used music to save people from the VAR syndrome, a previously unknown disease that made humans and others go berserk. However, they find themselves facing a new threat. So if this is new content for Macross Delta, which I think it is, it seems like it is, I'll be watching it whenever I can. Next up, we have Popel of Chimney Town, BD and DVD release. This visual actually looks awesome, and I haven't watched this yet. So, young Lubicia and a man made of garbage, Popel, live among the thick smoke from the chimneys of his isolated town. Lubici yearns to see the stars and to learn the truth his father always told him about. Based off a picture book, interesting. I don't know, Studio 4C, like, I don't know, lately with their movies, they've been beautiful, right? It's just really been, I feel like, with Children of the Sea, for example, because they did that, right? That was a movie that was, like, one of the best things I've ever saw, like, animated, right? Like, animation-wise, production value-wise, like, that's just overall one of the best things. Like, that is crazy, but the content was, like, all over the place, especially, like, later as the film went on. Like, it was a lot to take in. So I don't think this is going to be anything really like that, hard to take in based off a picture book. But I don't know. I may try to check this out at some point. Next up, we have Daikichi. I'm being harassed by the sexiest man of the year, the movie. Oh, okay. This is like a sequel, I think, to something. I won't be watching that. Yuchu Senken Yamato 2205. I think this is the next movie. The sequel. I've been waiting for this. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to watch it, but whenever it comes, I'm excited for more Yuchu Senken Yamato. Ryoma, the Prince of Tennis. Haven't watched any of that. Fafnir, haven't watched any of that yet. Bright Samurai Soul. I think this is a Netflix thing, yeah. In the time between the fall of the shogunate and the rise of the Meiji era, a powerful bright light emitted from a wand brings an end to the long shogunate period to avoid further bloodshed as Japan begins to shift towards a new era. Amid these circumstances, a one-eyed wandering ronin named Izo, who has lost his reason to live, and Raiden, an orc who detests murder and hopes to leave a life of thievery behind, separately meet a young elf girl named Sonya around the same time. Together, they go on a journey along the Tokaido Road to bring her and the wand she holds safely to the land of the elves in the north. Standing in their path is the mysterious organization Inferni, which aims to obtain the wand and revive the Dark Lord, who intends to rule all of creation. Inferni also uses the new Meiji government in its attempt to steal the wand from Izo, Raiden, and Sonya. Traveling along the Tokaido Road from Kyoto to Yokohama, Izo and Raiden begin their journey to protect the world. I don't know. I'm gonna say no, but if this drops in like 13 days, 13 and a half days or so. This drops on Netflix. People are saying good things about it. I might check it out, but not really interested, honestly. More Ghost in the Shell, no. Oh yeah, this is the Macross Frontier thing I was talking about earlier, which I haven't watched any Macross Frontier. So next up we have The Laws of the Universe, The Age of Elohim. Is this like a sequel? Is this a sequel to something? I don't know. This looks kind of like old, does it not? Maybe I'm tripping, but the story takes place on Earth 150 million years ago. At the time on Earth, various aliens were living in harmony by accepting each other under the god of the Earth, Elohim. However, one day, a huge meteorite flies towards the Earth at high speed. Before the meteorite hits the Earth, a female soldier from the planet Vega, Osiel, comes and she narrowly protects the Earth from destruction. The incident was actually planned to annihilate the Earth by Dahar, who is from the dark side of the universe. What will happen at the end of the battle for the survival of the Earth that involves the entire universe? Okay, I don't know what to even, like, I don't even know if I'll be able to, like, watch this. Yeah, like, is it gonna, I'm assuming at some point we'll probably get translation for it, like, from the BD DVD release, but I don't see this coming to theaters in the West. But maybe it comes out on Crunchyroll or something. We've been seeing that, like Crunchyroll put some movies on their site, or I don't know. I'm gonna say no on this for now. Argo Navas, the movie, no. More Precure, no. Some jumping. I thought I saw jumping. It said Jumanji. I thought that said jumping for some reason. This movie, no. All right, so there's that. And then we got OVAs. Wotakoi, yes, anything Wotakoi I'll be watching. Gambare Doki-chan, I'm already watching it. The Ancient Magus Bride OVA is starting. Episode 1 came out in Japan already, so I think we're just waiting for a translation. I'll be watching that. Way of the House Husband, I haven't watched yet. Star Wars Visions, I do plan to watch, although I'm not like super crazy on Star Wars, so maybe it's not best for me. Like, I haven't watched a lot of Star Wars. I think I've watched, it's been so long since I watched Star Wars, probably when I was a kid. So yeah, but I did want to watch this because really of the studio is behind it. I'll be watching this at some point. Tawawa on Monday, I'm watching already because it's already started. Big Grand Carnival, I haven't watched this yet, but I probably should. There's already 2 episodes out. I need to get on that. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2 extra shorts included. I guess I'll watch these if I can, if there's even more shorts coming out. Haven't watched any Baki yet. Next Life is a Villainous, no. Modal Zushi, haven't watched any of that yet. Obey Me, the anime. Not watching that. Given, the Given OVA. I still need to watch the Given movie, man. I still need to get on that, but I'll watch this whenever I can. This one, no. Kwanzi Fashi, this is still going on, no. Night World. I'm pretty sure I read something about this in the last lineup video. And I said it actually sounded kind of cool. I don't even remember if I said maybe or I'll try it out. I mean, if it's a short, I guess I'll try it out. If it's even going to come out, because this was in the lineup for last season and it never came out. So this one, no. Pokemon Evolutions, I am watching. Yes, still need to watch the most recent episode. Princess Principal OVA, bonus OVA included. I guess I'll watch it if I can. Assault Lily Fruits, no. Gundam Breaker Battle Log. This is another Gundam thing. So here we go. After intense fighting, the Gunpla Battle US Championship enters its final round. Here, the figure of a certain fighter appears. A few months later, Misa Satsukino, building a new Gunpla in the Ayato shopping street, seems to be in a worse mood than usual. As an outlet for her unfocused anger, she sets her completed Gunpla in a simulator and enters the battle, but the Gunpla is suddenly restrained. On the eve of the huge GB Fest event, the fates of the Gunpla fighters are at a critical juncture. I'll be watching this. I don't know if it's going to be good, but more Gundam. I'll check it out. Super Crooks from Bones. This comes out in 57 days or so on Netflix. One last heist. That's what they all say, right? Just one final score, and everyone can retire and take up fishing. Thing is, the jails are filled with supervillains who thought the same thing and got busted, but the heat's in a jam. He runs up the kind of gambling debt that if he can't pay it back in cash, will be paid in blood. Nobody wants to see the most beloved super crook of all time rubbed out of the mob, especially his biggest fan, Johnny Bolt. And Johnny's got a plan to help the Heat and make all his buddies distinguishably rich at the same time. Unfortunately for Johnny's recruits, they have to head to Spain and rob the world's most notorious supervillain blind. And that's where things get tricky. Sounds pretty cool. And I've heard good things about the comics for this because it is like I think it's like a Western, isn't it? It might not be, but it's based off a comic from Bones, Netflix. I think from what I saw recently of the trailer, I think it's going to be a mix of like 3D and 2D animation. So that should be interesting. But I really like the character designs and the premise sounds kind of cool. Like it sounds like they're going across the world or going to different parts of the world and whatnot. So kind of sounds Great Pretender-esque, in a way, but I don't think it's like con mans conning con mans. But this sounds kind of cool. I'll check it out. Art to Switch, no. This one, no. No. Tsushima. No. Code of God's Havoc. That's been going. Haven't watched it. Oh, I thought that said Crap Reborn. Jeez, man. Supreme God Emperor Season 2. No. I Became a Gengar. I still need to watch that. Did this drop yet? Yeah, it did. I still need to watch that. Dang. Just a short, though. The rest of these are probably going to be no's, I think, guys. Yeah. Pretty sure. Is there anything else in here? Salted fish. Salted fish. Bro, what the fuck, Japan? This is a story of a preserved fish called Mr. Salted Fish who lives at a seafood restaurant on an island and makes a living by working multiple part-time jobs. Due to his unique way of dealing with things, he frequently finds himself in a survival crisis. That's why he takes up a lot of different jobs on the island. In this way, Mr. Salted Fish gets to know the islanders, who are strange at first, but once he learns about their stories, they become friends and even family. As the annual Fish God Festival approaches, hilarious incidents around Mr. Salted Fish also begin. Hey, if I can somehow watch this, if this comes out and there's a translation for it, or if it's airing on a streaming service or something, I'll watch this, man. Fuck it. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, dude. No choice but to betray the earth. Yeah, yeah, the rest of these are no's. So yeah, we left off on a good laugh there with the fish one. So that's about it for the list. So yeah, this season, I think I already mentioned earlier in the video, seems a lot more promising to me than the summer. Some of the ones that I'm really looking out for, of course, Mushoku Tensei, more Demon Slayer, Komi-san, 86. Like ones that I'm really looking out for. Tact Op Destiny. I would throw Blue Period in there. I would probably throw Blue Period in there. Ranking of Kings, Sakugan really has my attention. So yeah, those ones are what I'm really looking forward to, But some of these I know I've put maybe as really it's just a thing where it's like, okay, I'll check out the first couple episodes, maybe even the first episode, see if it's something I may like. As for reactions, I already told y'all some of the ones that I'm going to be reacting to, but there may be ones that I throw in there that I try and I like it, so I continue reacting with it. It's always changing, right? Things are always, especially with my channel. I don't know if it's just my channel. I would assume it's not a thing with my channel, but that's something that usually happens with me, is that like I'll stick with certain things, and then some things I just want to watch on my own, and I'll do that. And then people are like, "Where's this? Where's that?" Like if that's the thing, if I don't enjoy making content on something, I'm not gonna push myself through, because that just wouldn't be fair to y'all, and it wouldn't be fair to myself either. So that's kind of what the deal is. But this season it seems pretty stacked, I have to say. I mean, whether it's from the shows that we have here, the leftovers being in there as well, even some of the movies in there caught my attention. This looks like a way more promising season than the summer, because I mean, the summer just took all the, I wouldn't say all of it, but it took a lot of motivation out of me. Like, good thing we had Slime, and good thing we had some of these other ones in there, because man, the summer season was brutal. Like, I went on vacation. like it made me go on vacation. No, I'm not really. I'm kidding. I was gonna go on vacation regardless, but I'm coming off of vacation and I'm feeling good before going into this season, I must say. So, and then going into like December, we got Demon Slayer. I think like AOT around that time as well. JoJo. I mean, oh my gosh, dude. Like we didn't even mention that. So don't forget about that, people. Oh my gosh. Like I know you didn't forget about Demon Slayer, but like AOT, JoJo. Like, are we gonna have Demon Slayer, JoJo, and AOT all going around the same time? That's gonna be fucking nuts, dude. Oh my god. Oh, getting a little ahead, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season. I'm really excited. Let me know which ones you guys are really looking out for and which shows maybe that are kind of slipping on my radar, which ones you would like to see me do first impressions reactions for. And then who knows, maybe I continue with it all the way through if I really like it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for another season of anime. I know you guys are probably the same way. I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace out.